Let's create the 5-number summary for this sequence of numbers here. I have 2, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 14, 22, and 25. And let's pretend that these are all measured in some unit. Like let's pretend it's milligrams, all of them. The 5-number summary for a set of data points consists of the minimum value and the maximum value, the median, oops, you can't see all of that, the median of the data set, the first quartile, also called the lower quartile or the 25th percentile, the third quartile, also called the upper quartile, or the 75th percentile. We need these 5 values to create our 5-number summary. So the friendliest ones to work on, once we have our data set all in order from least to greatest, would be the minimum and the maximum. In our case, the minimum is 2, and since we've decided to call these milligrams, it would have the label of milligrams. The maximum would be the greatest value in the list. In this case, it's 25 milligrams. The median is the middle entry, and in this case, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 data points, and so there is an entry in the exact middle. If we count toward the center, if we put 4 entries on one side and 4 entries on the other side of this middle entry of 10 milligrams, 10 milligrams will be our median. So if we have an odd number of data points like we have here, the very middle entry will be our median. And in a separate example, we'll talk about what to do if we don't have an odd number of entries. To find Q1 and Q3, Q1 is the median of the lower half of the data set. So we will ignore the actual median. We will look at everything below or less than the median, and we will find the median of these 4 entries in this case. Because there are an even number of data points below the median, we will find the 2 in the center of the list, and we will find their average. So if you found the average of these 2, you could do 5 plus 6, take that answer and divide it by 2. That will give us 5.5 for Q1. 5.5 milligrams. It is the median of the 2 data points that are in the center of that list. We'll do a similar thing with the upper half of the data to the right of the median in this case. And here again, we have 4 entries. It's an even number of them. So we find the 2 in the center and we find their average or their mean. If we did 14 plus 22, I think that will give us 36. We need to divide that by 2 to find the mean, and that will be 18. So our third quartile, or Q3, will be 18 milligrams. And now we have the 5 quantities needed for the 5-number summary for this data set. And we did get a little bit of practice here with an even number of data points when we found Q1 and Q3. Let's do one more example. I'm going to use these same numbers, but I think I'm going to leave off 25. So here's a new set. There it is. And this time around, we have 8 entries in the list. I have 2, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 14, and 22. And again, let's pretend that those are in milligrams. To find the 5-number summary, we're going to need the minimum and the maximum. We're going to need the median of the entire set, and we will need Q1 and Q3. So the minimum in this case is 2 milligrams. That's the least value. The maximum is 22 milligrams, the greatest value. The median, because we have an even number of data points, we need to go find the 2 data points that are in the center of the set. 9 and 10 in this case are in the middle of the set. We need to find the average of those two. You might be able to look at this and recognize that 9.5 will be exactly halfway between 9 milligrams and 10 milligrams, or you can find the average with 9 plus 10. Take that answer and divide it by 2. 19 divided by 2 will give us 9.5 milligrams. Be sure to put your labels on quantities. So 9.5 right there. It's not present in the list, but it would be found right exactly halfway between 9 milligrams and 10 milligrams. To find Q1, we need to find the median of all of the data points that are below 9.5. So in this case, we have 4 data points that are less than 9.5, less than that marker. 2, 5, 6, and 9. We need to find the mean of 5 and 6 to get that first quartile. So if you wanted to find an average there, you would do 5 plus 6, find that result, divide by 2, and that will give us 5.5 milligrams for our first quartile. And here, 5.5 isn't in the list, but it lives exactly halfway between 5 milligrams and 6 milligrams. We'll play a similar game for finding Q3. Look at all of the data points that are greater than our median that we found. We have 4 of them, 10, 11, 14, and 22. Our median of just those will live halfway between the 2 middle entries of 11 and 14. You could do 11 plus 14, find that sum and divide by 2. So we would do 25 divided by 2 for 12.5 milligrams. 12.5 milligrams will be our third quartile.